Yo, what is up, fam? It's your boy Legend, and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. Now, if you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Sorry I didn't upload yesterday, but basically, in short, an important opportunity came my way, and I basically decided, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity while I can. If you guys want to know what it is, basically I'm basically applied to an esports team, and I basically have an interview and tryouts with them tomorrow. So best of luck. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this intro so we can start this with
I won't give up, I'll never stop till I wash up on the sand or my heart finally stops. I will be the best, headed out for change, I just started on my quest. Yeah, the world will know my name, I'm excited, I'm obsessed. No one in my way but myself and a test. Yeah, I will be the best, yeah, I will be the best. Life is just a game, I'll be playing till I rest. I'll be there to claim my own spot among the best. Deep within my mind, I'll put all my fear to rest. Cause I will be the best, yeah, I will be the best.
Underworld, Cerzek's throne room. Cerzek observed the battle of Kakabio through an observation spell. He witnessed how Naruto unsealed his sacred gear, Soul Annihilator, and began to recall how he was first one that had saw the sword with his own eyes. Flashback 6 years ago at the Gremory Castle. There were sounds of swords clashing and explosions at the training ground at the back of the Gremory Castle. All those noises were created by two individuals. They were Cerzek's Lucifer, former Gremory, and the 10-year-old Naruto with his Sharingan blazing. Both of them were standing at a fair distance away from each other. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Didn't you or the one that said you would become Ria's strongest piece to protect her from all the threats? With the current strength you won't be able to defeat any enemies of ultimate class, exclaimed Cerzek with the aura of power destruction covering him. Naruto didn't reply. He just rushed forward, EMS blazing in his sockets. With Susanoo ribcage that grew a hand in an attempt to punch Cerzek. Cerzek easily used his power of destruction to obliterate the Susanoo's hand. Naruto twitched his mouth in slight frustration and opened his left eye wider to direct his gaze at Cerzek. Amaterasu. Cerzek was about to annihilate the black flames with his power, but the flames suddenly moved around him and alarmed the Mao greatly. Kagutsuki. That was the word he heard Naruto proclaim before he was surrounded by a dome made from the black flames of Amaterasu. It seems you've become a little serious, Naruto-kun. Then so will I, Cerzek muttered as he began to raise his magical power. But Cerzek slightly raised his power a little too high, and the aura of power destruction was about to consume little Naruto as well. Naruto-kun, move out of the way! Cerzek shouted in horror and tried to warn Naruto before it was too late. But Cerzek's destruction aura moved a little too fast for the 10-year-old Naruto to avoid. When the aura hits its target, Cerzek widened his eyes in horror and fell to his knees. He thought that he accidentally killed Naruto. He sighed out of relief when he could feel Naruto's life force, but his jaw dropped to the ground when the dust was cleared. Before little Naruto, a dark sword appeared. It has a rectangular shape and the tip looks like a pincer. There were some green glowing lines on the edge of the sword. But how? Why? This sword should be a myth? It was not supposed to exist. Cerzek muttered and shook his head in disbelief. That was because in front of him was the lost sacred gear Soul Annihilator, or otherwise known as Purgatory Blade of Illusions, Kokyuten, in the flashback. He was so lost in the memory that he had skipped near the whole battle between Naruto and Kakabio. Well, that can't be calling a battle, actually. Naruto didn't even counter attack Kakabio even once. Suddenly he narrowed his eyes when he saw Naruto let himself be bisected in half. Certainly, after that, a loud scream of Rias was heard, as well as a gasp from his wife that stood beside him and observing the battle as well. Kuo Academy. Kakabio grinned victoriously as he saw Naruto's both halves of his body are floating in the air. He failed to notice that both halves did not bleed. Rias is sobbing, believed that Naruto was dead, but a voice from the direction of both Naruto's halves was heard. Zuri, Toothy-kun. A playful voice was heard from Naruto's mouth. You never even warned me before attacking. That just too dirty, don't you think? Everybody that was present in the dome began to gasp. They still see that Naruto was split in half. Then how the heck can he talk? Is he really immortal? I I don't understand anything, Naruto Yoro. Naruto Yoro should be dead. He was cut in half. So how in the hell can he still talk? Issei shook his head in confusion. He didn't understand what is going on anymore. Yeah, how is that possible? Kaneko agreed with Issei with a nod of her head. Yudo, though, turned to look at Naruto and stated, well, I'm sure Naruto-san will explain the situation right away. Rias cleared the tears, then glared at Naruto's still calm face, even if he was bisected in half. He better do it, that jerk. How dare he scare me? I mean us, to death like that. Rias quickly corrected her slip and crossed her hands under her bosom like usual with a huff. Zenobia and Akeno are also looking for an explanation and anticipation. The moment they saw Naruto was cut in half, their heart really did stop for some seconds. Yukeibu glared daggers at Naruto's upper body and demanded, now explain that. Everybody is waiting in anticipation. Explain to everybody else how you survived my attack. Naruto smirked, and a cloud of black smoke appeared out of nowhere and enveloped Naruto. When it cleared, Naruto could be seen safe and sound. It's like he was never been bisected before that. Everyone's eyes bulged after seeing that. What the heck is going on? That was on everybody's mind right now. Simple really, Toothy-kun. Your attack never reached me. That is why I'm still alive. And about what you all have seen, that was nothing but an afterimage created by my fear. This is my other technique called Kyoka Sugetsu. Naruto explained to them and stabbed Kyokutin to the ground and intertwined his fingers and put his palms on the handle. Kyoka Sugetsu. Yuto replied, the name of the technique. You must be so cocky to even let your enemies know the name of your technique. Full of arrogance. Just like that brat Surzek's Lucifer. Kakeibu glared at Naruto and spat Surzek's name like a curse. Even if you knew about the technique, you still can't do anything about it, replied Naruto and shook his head. We will see about that, brat, exclaimed Kakeibu, and charges again at Naruto with his light sword. This time, he even unleashed all 10 of his wings and also created light senbon from them and fired them at Naruto. Muda, replied Naruto calmly and let all the senbons hit him. The senbons raised a black smoke in Naruto's body again. Kakeibu charged at Naruto and slashed him furiously with gritted teeth. Naruto never moved from his position and just closed his eyes and take all of Kakeibu's attacks. I am like the reflection of the moon on the surface of the water right now. Even if you try to reach it, you will never be able to catch it. It will waver, and in the end, it'll slip out of your hands. Suge, muttered Issei, in awe and jealousy as well. Didn't I tell you before? The wielder of Kokyuten is the most powerful illusionist in existence. Unless the fallen angel could find a way to cut through his fear, he will never manage to injure him. Drake decided to butt in. That means, in order to injure Naruto Yero, I need to cut through that fear of his, Issei stated with narrowing eyes gazing at Naruto's black smoke. That's right, but that's not all Kokyuten is capable of, added Drake seriously. Kakeibu has divided Naruto to pieces of black smoke and is panting heavily. He thought that maybe now that the brat will die for sure, but to his annoyance, the smoke began to gather together and Naruto was reformed again, with the same state he was before that. Naruto opened his eyes and stared boredly at Kakeibu. Didn't I tell you before, Toothy-kun? Attacking this me is useless. You can't hurt me while I'm in this state. But Naruto raised his sword and slashed at Kakeibu unexpectedly. Kakeibu didn't expect for Naruto to suddenly attack, since he was unmoved the whole time. Kakebyo could only raise his right hand instinctively to counter Naruto's attack. The attack slashed at Kakebyo's wrist, but Kakebyo felt nothing. No pain or wound. But he felt something missing. He glanced down to his wrist to see that it was still there. But for some reason, he couldn't feel it at all. Kakebyo glared daggers at Naruto and demanded, "What the heck did you do?" Those around them looked on confused at what Kakebyo was implying. "I don't understand anything. I saw that Naruto-san's attack hit the target. But why is there no wound or even traces of slash from his sword on Kakebyo's body? And why Kakebyo reacted like that? What the heck is going on here?" Zenobia stated and become more confused with Naruto's sacred gear power. "Can you explain that to us, Drake?" Issei looked down at his sacred gear and requested an explanation. The others are also waiting for the answer. "That is the reason why that sword was called Soul Annihilator. The attacks of that boy's sacred gear didn't cause physical damage to the body, but it deals spiritual damage by damaging the target's soul," Drake explained with serious tone. All present from Ria's peers widened their eyes at Naruto's sacred gear ability, a sacred gear that didn't target the enemy's body but their soul. The reason why that sword was called Forbidden is because with that ability, the boy could even kill the heavenly dragons by destroying the sacred gear and as such destroying our souls within. What a fearsome sacred gear. No, not to be more precisely, what a fearsome person that Naruto is. Just his eyes, powers, he's already near invincible, but with Kokuten, he has indeed become invincible. A fitting nickname he has, the Invincible Knight. Stated Drake to himself mostly. A being that could kill him and Albion if he desired that. That Naruto surely is the most threat to them. It's a relief that he is loyal to the Gremory girl. Did it mean that Naruto-san could even kill God with that blade? Zenobia wondered incredulously. Now I see why he called the Invincible Knight, and being proclaimed that the most powerful knight in the history. Ria muttered and looked at Naruto's back while he is facing Kakebyo. Little by little, but some things began to clear to her about Naruto. Kakebyo is trembling right now. That boy could kill him with a slash of his sword. He wouldn't feel pain or agony. Nothing actually, but it would be like sleeping for eternity. You died yet? You may not even know that you have died. That is truly fearsome. If you are this powerful, Ultimate, why serve Ria's Gremory? I know. Join my side. I could give you anything. Woman, money, power, anything. Kakebyo began to plead. Naruto with hesitation in his eyes. Anything you say? Hearing that piqued Naruto's interest. He blinked and then began to tap his chin with his index and thought, yes, anything. Kakebyo nodded his head rapidly. Rias looked on at the scene in silent amusement. She knew that Naruto was just playing around, and she didn't have any doubt that Naruto would betray her. Still, looking at Kakebyo's hopeful expression is amusing. Sure, she knew that he's just fooling around, but what comes out of his mouth next made not even her, but all her peers' jaws dropped to the ground. I want to make my Oju-sama my personal sex slave. Can you do that, Toothy-kun? Requested Naruto with a straight face. Huh? Kakebyo exclaimed with his eyes bulged like dinner plates. After hearing Naruto's request, Ria's face resembled a tomato now. Damn that knight of hers. That has no shame. Who the heck is joking like that? Issei is holding his bleeding nose from such fantasy about Butcho. Sure, he's still glaring daggers at Naruto for suggesting something like that, but he couldn't deny that the brilliant idea in his mind. Akeno was licking her lips suggestively and hungrily. Ara, that Naruto-kun sure has a dirty mind, but knowing him, it is only... Why the heck such silence? It was a joke. Jeez, simply a joke. Naruto smirked abusingly and waving his hand to dismiss his previous idea. I knew that both Rias and Akeno thought simultaneously, sweat dropping. though Rias' blush still had yet to die down. Issei face fault and slammed himself to the ground while shouting with comical tears, "Naruto Yero!" Yudo sighed and smiled amusingly. He should have expected that Naruto would joke like that. That was a joke? A joke? Kakebyo uttered, trembling, in silent rage slightly. He looked up at Naruto with such fury in his eyes. Forget about his ridiculous suggestion earlier. He will tear this cocky son of a bitch to pieces. But at first, he needs to reveal something that will weaken their spirits, especially to the blonde nun and blue-haired exorcist. But before that, he needs to taunt them a little. So he looks down at Rias and begins to talk. Rias Gremory, you sure like to collect junk like your brother, eh? Rias narrowed her eyes and shot back. I won't let you insult my bro or Mao and my servants like that. And what can you do? Always hiding behind the back of that ultimate brat. Without him, you and your peerage is useless. A bunch of trash. Kakebyo purposely insulted Rias and her peers to provoke them into attacking him. With that, the ultimate should be forced to defend or protect his master. Hearing that caused not only Rias but the entire peers minus Naruto and Ashi to widen their eyes in a huge amount of rage. They are all young and inexperienced devils and couldn't control their emotions well enough. Naruto was about to stop them but noticed that it would be useless as they are being consumed by their rage now. First to react was Akino and Rias. They released their wings and flew up to face Kakebyo and shot their attacks at him. Kakebyo dismissed both attacks easily but leered at Akino and taunted, "Is that all you've got, wielder of Barekio's power?" Hearing that name just made Akino more pissed off. She began to concentrate a huge amount of magic into her next lightning attack. "Don't you dare associate me with that name!" Naruto narrowed his eyes hearing Barekio's name. A fallen angel that I had encountered on my travel. Akino-san has some connection to him? Issei began to boost his power with his sacred gear. He created a red ball of magic in his left hand and punched it to release a red beam that was aiming at Kakebyo. Dragon shot. Kakebyo shielded himself with his wings and deflects Akino's lightning back at her. Lucky for her, Naruto appeared before her and dismissed the attack with his Kokuten. Akino looked gratefully at Naruto's back for saving her. "Arigato, Naruto-kun. Be careful and don't let your rage blind you again," Akino-san stated Naruto coolly, not turning back to face her. Normally, Akino would fume as he didn't even turn around to face her, but after finding out about his nightmarish past, she could understand a bit of how Naruto acts. He always remains calm, cool, and careless. "Not bad, Seiko Yurite," implied Kakebyo, and suddenly felt a presence on his right. He created a light sword and clashed with Zenovia, but he still managed to overpower her and kicked her back to the ground. "Now time for some revelation. I'm surprised that you can still fight while your master is dead." "Oops, slip of the tongue. I shouldn't have told you that." Kakebyo slipped on purpose to further confuse Zenovia. Zenovia narrowed her eyes and demanded, "What are you implying?" Kakebyo grinned evilly and said, "Well, I'm about to start a war, so there's no reason to hide it anymore." Kakebyo grinned wickedly and continued, "Listen well, in the previous war, not only the original Maos have died, but God as well." Everybody else's eyes widened in shock except for Naruto, which only narrowed his eyes in suspicion. But the ones that were shocked the most are none other than Zenovia and Asia. The two of them have believed in him the most, after all. "What?" whispered Zenovia in disbelief. "You are lying. Something like that could never happen." Rias tried to deny the fact, but she didn't seem so convincible. "I'm telling the truth, filthy devils. Whether you believe it or not, that is reality. The leaders of the three factions did try their best to keep this information secret," exclaimed Kakebyo. But I can still feel his love, even now," retorted Asia softly, trying her hardest to stay conscious. The fact that she found out that God was dead did make a heavy blow to her psychology. Michael did his job to replace God. Even if God was dead, the system that he created is still there, Kakebo explained with a grin. So Archangel Michael-sama is replacing God. That's impossible. Zenobia shook her head and tried to deny the truth. Then explain this to me, Kakebio-san. Why did Naruto-san have a bit of holy energy in him that exactly like that of God? Asuya is breathing heavily, but she could at least, will find out about what she wanted to find out since she met Naruto. It took her a while, but she started to recall the holy energy of God when she first met him as a kid. And Naruto's holy energy was really similar to his. Everybody's eyes widened in shock, except Asuya and Kakebio. Yes, even Naruto himself was shocked about this revelation. The holy energy that resided inside of him was from God? Kakebio grinned widely and praised Asuya. As expected of the one that believes in God, even when he had perished. Asuya never took her eyes from Kakebio, even if his evil aura frightens her horribly. But she needs to find out the truth. The others are waiting for the explanation as well. Too much shocking information for one day, and all of them involve Naruto. It's just as the nun deducted. The holy energy that resides inside the ultimate is indeed of God. But the only those that have the strongest belief in God, or those that saw him personally, could feel that energy. God was indeed dead. However, before that, he gave his final blessing along with inputting the remains of his holy energy in the blessing to the one that was the kind heart with the strongest will of life. As Kakebo explained, he turned to look at Naruto to imply about who he was talking about. As you can see, the one that received the final blessing is that ultimate. You could call him a pseudo-god. Everybody turned their gaze at Naruto in shock. Naruto is a pseudo-god? His power is not enough to give blessings, but still, the fact remains that God's holy energy is residing inside him. Naruto-san is God? Does that mean I should serve him from now on? Zenobia wondered with her eyes widened, still shocked about all those revelations. Her mind is in turmoil now. So much that has happened today. I see. Naruto-san's holy energy comes from God's final blessing. Asuya, taking in that information and finally collapsed from the stress. Asuya! Exclaimed Issei in worry and rushed to her side. Meanwhile, Naruto has some thoughts of his own. Naruhodo. Nah. That was the reason why I still remained alive after the Tengu's blood infusion. All pieces finally connect together. That means indirectly, but that geezer responsible in creation of me. It's such an irony that the avatar of God is serving the heiress of the Grummery, yet alone has smitten her mind. Akino thought and smiled, amusingly covered her mouth with the sleeve of her Miko outfit. Naruto is God? Naruto is God. Naruto is God. Rias repeated that sentence in a trance like 100 or so times. Her mind was completely blown by the revelation. Now that all surprises are over, I think it's time to annihilate all of you from the face of this planet, proclaimed Kakebio with an insane grin and flew up high and began to concentrate a huge amount of holy energy in both of his palms. Rias and her peers, minus Naruto, could only look on in utter shock at the huge amount of energy poured into the light spear as it began to appear in Kakebio's hand, and it was still expanding. Even Sona, that was holding up the barrier, started to worry about Rias seeing the spear of that size. Rias, be careful. Sona thought and hoped that her friend would be okay. Outside the barrier, Volley was about to act, but he saw Naruto's index pointing at his location and began to shake, like to say for him to not get involved. Volley narrowed his eyes disbelievingly, but decided to observe to the end. Within the barrier, Naruto stood in a stance and also began to concentrate a huge amount of magic energy at the tip of his Gokyuten. Slowly, a dark spear of energy started to appear as well and expand in size. Everybody, get as far away as possible, Naruto warned and prepared to unleash his attack. Bryonic, shouted Kakabio in a glee and threw his enormous light spear, bellowing in hope of obliterating everything in the surrounding area. As the huge spear began to descend, Naruto decided to unleash his own attack to counter Kakabio's attack. Disappear with the space of the void. Tanto's punishment. Screamed Naruto, and the dark sphere from the tip of the Kokuten was shot at the Bryonic and transformed it into a dark beam. The wind started to rise up like crazy. Those around began to cover their faces to protect themselves from the harsh winds. The clash between both the techniques was so great that it creates shock waves to shatter the barrier, along with the earthquake breaking spell created by the combination of 4 fragments of the Excaliburs. Volley still was floating with the help of his sacred gear, looking at the clash of both techniques. Volley's presence immediately caught the attention of Issei. Who is he? Why the heck am I shivering at the mere sight of him? Wondered Issei and shivered instinctively. So, the white one who decided to show up. Drake thought within his boosted gear. The jade gem is glowing like wanting to alert Volley about its presence. Volley felt the wings pulse a bit and looked down at Issei below. He is the cause of Albion's usual behavior. Finally, we met again. After such a long time, Red One. Albion thought, and the blue energy from Volley's wings began to shine a bit brighter. Both attacks fought for domination, but the one who won was Naruto's. His attack overpowered Kakabio's attack and hits full force at Kakabio. If it not for Volley's interference to get him out of the way, Kakabio would have been completely annihilated right now. I have orders to act if you've gone too far, but it seems it wasn't necessary. Volley looked down at Naruto with eyes full of interest, but I was ordered to intervene and return you back. You are disgusting, but still one of the fallen angel leaders after all. Volley is holding the unconscious Kakabio by his ruff. Who are you? Are you here to help Kakabio? Demanded Rias, staring at Volley. No, I'm not with him, but I have ordered to bring him back alive, replied Volley, and was about to leave, but the voice below him stopped him. Are you ignoring me, White One? Drake addressed Volley's shining wings. The wings started to blip and a voice was heard from them. We will talk another time, Red One. After all, it's still too early for our fight. Just that Volley fled from Kuo, bringing Kakabio with him. Issei looked up at Volley's leaving figure and ordered, Who is that, Drake? Your destined enemy, Vanishing Dragon Albion, answered Drake, which alarmed Issei greatly. Aftermath. Sona and her peers also decided to join Rias and her peers. Sona went there mostly to scold Naruto about ditching school yet again. Naruto-san, I believe this is the first time we meet face to face. Sona greeted the blonde politely. Indeed it is, Sona Kaicho. Naruto bowed his head respectfully. And where have you been since yesterday, huh, Mr. Pseudo-God? Rias glared at him and replied sarcastically. Yes, I'd like to know that much as well, Naruto-san. Why did you not present yourself to school yesterday? Sona demanded, adjusting her glasses. Meanwhile, Issei and Saji are giggling at the corner. Finally, that pretty boy will receive some punishment, or even twice of it. But Naruto sure as hell won't just stay there after he just saves their asses and the whole city from destruction. Gomen, but I forgot my new Xbox 360 at the hotel, retorted Naruto. Huh? Rias blinked in confusion, then noticed Naruto was already being warped away via Kamui. Both Rias and Sona's eyes twitched, and they shouted together, Come back at once, Naruto! The rest is laughing in amusement. Naruto will always be Naruto, calm and cool in most situations, but even he is not crazy enough to endure the fury from 2 furious women. But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.